Welcome back to the Prestige. So I had already been way far behind, and I had about 30 minutes to make this video, and I made the video, and I went to put it on YouTube and realized I had never hit record. So I apologize. This is going to be the quickest video I ever made. I will make it up to you next week. Um, I have to just run through this. I have to go pick up my son in like 20 minutes, so I apologize. They just put the newest fight on Topology too, so that Basangera guy, I'm going him by knockout or decision or submission. He's going to win, but he's minus 800, so nobody's going to bet on him. Alibi Idiris versus Joseph Morales. I think Alibi Idiris is the more well-rounded fighter. Morales is just a jiu-jitsu guy with a solid striking base. I'm going Idiris, and I don't mean any disrespect, Joseph. Sorry. Rodrigo Centenato versus Daniil Donchenko. I'm going Rodrigo Centenato, but I don't think this fight goes to decision either way. I think that's a safer way to go about it if these fights ever become out for bets. Karina Silva versus Diana Barbosa. Sorry. I'm going Karina Silva by sub. I think these are both very good fighters. I think the fight's going to end up in the ground, and I think Silva has a better ground game and the better subs. Brian Battle versus Nursultan Ruzaboyev. This could be a biased pick. I have Ruzaboyev by decision. He could finish Battle, but Battle's pretty durable. It's biased because Battle's up in weight, and I don't think it's permanent. So anytime that happens, there's no way it's a good thing. Barbosa versus Close. I'm going Barbosa by knockout. Probably in the first round. Close is getting up there. Also is Barbosa, but Barbosa seems to be holding on to his everything a lot better than Close. Hernandez Hooper. Hooper by finish. Probably second or third, probably third round. Alexander, or I don't know. Hooper by finish. Hernandez is very good. He's just more of an athlete at this point. And he's been finished in every way there can be. And there's a big age difference. And Hooper's he's very good. So we're just going Hooper. Andrade versus Lupi Gudinez. I'm going Lupi by decision. The only person without holes that Andrade has beat is Rose, and that was by a slam. I think Lupi's the most well-rounded person that she will face besides Rose, and I think it's going to be too much. Minimally, Andrade just got a good fight IQ and just takes it to where the other person can't win, and that's not happening here. Mearshart versus Mikhail Alejicic. I love the fighting nerd, so I'm going Alejicic by knockout, but I think this fight ends with no decision no matter what. King Green versus Diego Ferreira. I'm a Bengals fan. When you change your name, aka Chad Johnson, to Chad Ochocinco, you lose all of your star power. So, King Green loses by decision to Diego Ferreira or submission, but I think it's by decision. Taylor Elliott versus Kaya Sakura. I thought long and hard. Tim Elliott could win this. Kaya Sakura, I think, needs this win, and I think he gets it done by KO with the age difference. Cannonier versus Page. I think Page wins this by late round KO or decision. I think Cannonier could win this by pressure, though. Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. I'm a fighting nerd. Lover, so I'm going Prates. Bias pick, but I think they're trying to push the fighting nerds anyway. And Jeff Neal's very good, but he's like a Neil Magny. Like they're kind of like the gatekeepers of the division. One's a grappler, one's a striker, and they do their part and keep the gates there. Prots by KO. Leon Murphy against Aaron Pico. I go Leon Murphy by decision. Nobody in the UFC has finished him. Why would somebody outside the UFC finish him? It's not like this dude's been undefeated outside the UFC. Leon Murphy's just going to win this. I think it'll be by decision, but it could be by knockout. Dricus du Plessis versus Hamzat. I think the worst thing in the world for the UFC would be if Hamzat won because he's never going to fight. I'm going Dricus. I love Dricus. He is one of my favorite fighters now, so Dricus by finish. I think it's late round 4, round 5 finish. I think Hamzat doesn't get the first couple takedowns and tries a little bit too hard to get them and ends up gassing himself out. And Dricus takes advantage late rounds. We're doing the Prestige Parlay. We're doing just the triple up of the Fighting Nerds. One is a future bet for 1 month from now, and that's okay with me. And then the weekly double up is Carlos Prates and Leon Murphy plus 3.5. 21 wins is 47. We are 67, 29, and 1 over the last, I think it's 8 cards now. So sorry about the rush video. I have to go pick up my son, and we will be back on video, and we'll have everything back under control next week because I will be in town. So let's win this money. See you at the pay counter. Let's go, Dricus and the Fighting Nerds.